So bring the coachy come come. I make this happy till it done. Yeah. Went into the country to check Bongo Joe. He was sipping his calice in a cloud of smoke. Police and radar run through him, yeah. Never run back over natty dread, never joke. He said, cool down your temper. Officer, you are dealing with a sufferer. Sufferer, he's only praising the Father. Yeah. So bring the coachy come come.
Derek Weeks, what's good, brother? Google Street View, y'all see that? Look, Google Street View. We got the Google Street View doing their reconnaissance, y'all. Oh my God, they are not hiding anything anymore. Well, I did the whole spiel this morning about the weather and all that. So, but as you can see, you know, the clouds are coming in, right? The rain clouds are starting to come in for tomorrow's rain, and it's intermingling with the chemtrail cirrus clouds. Anyway, what's good, y'all? So yeah, today I got a letter from the NRA, right? Because I am a member of the NRA. And I am a member of the NAAGA, which is based in Atlanta, and they don't really have any charge. Is African American Gun Association, okay? But I am also a member of the NRA. Now, and the NRA or the NAAGA is a affiliate of the NRAs. But anyway, I got a letter from the NRA today informing me that Governor Cuomo out of New York threatened the banks with harassment, with you know, sending agents to look into their affairs if they continue to do business with the NRA. And banks are slowly ending their affiliation with the NRA in fear that Cuomo is going to, you know, basically go after the banks, right? But what does that tell you? That these banks are so afraid of a New York governor coming after them. Well, it tells you that they into some dirty business, regardless of whether or not they dealing with the NRA. Why would you be so afraid as to end your affiliation with the NRA? The NRA probably gets you a lot of money. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Cuomo works at CNN, his son. But this is the thing, right? Now, we all feel, including myself, even though I'm a member, we all feel that maybe the NRA is part of a good old boy network, right? And I essentially am not a good old boy. But what I am is a veteran of the United States Army, and I'm a black man living in this country who is aware of a lot of things, okay? I'm not your typical black Republican. Matter of fact, I don't affiliate with I don't affiliate with the left or the right wing of the bird. I'm essentially independent, but you know, I feel like certain of us should get together and form our own party. But let's put that aside for a second. The reason I'm an NRA member is because it is the only organization fighting to protect our Second Amendment rights. Okay, now every state, well, not every state, well, yeah, every state has little organizations. Like in California, we have an NRA type deal that's, based in California, but they don't have the reach or the influence that NRA has. Now, everybody gets on the NRA for being a special interest group that lobbies with politicians to pass laws that would be in favor of the people that think along the same lines as that special interest group. But see, there are many such special interest groups, okay? And the reason that is because certain groups need extra representation. We need to make sure we're represented, that we're not forgotten by the politicians that get put into place by us and then go on to do some weird shit that we don't agree with. That's the whole point behind special interest groups. AARP is a special interest group. There are many special interest groups, but for some reason, the NRA is the only one who's demonized. You got Big Oil. Big Oil is a special interest group, okay? But because most people don't have special, like they're not part of a special interest group, or they're not a member of a special interest group, they look down on special interest group in general. But the way our political system works, you can literally bribe a politician legally. It's called lobbying, okay? And you give donations to the NAACP, is a special interest group. So what you do, you bribe politicians legally, okay? That's essentially what you're doing. You hire lobbyists to go and speak to these politicians and offer up donations and to ensure that they, do things leaning in your favor. All right. Let's get that squared away. Now, the NRA has not been, essentially the best friend of black folks over the years. But like I said, they are the only people. They're the only group fighting for Second Amendment rights. And this governor is calling upon himself to step outside of his jurisdiction, to step out of his purview, and threaten banks. This is a symbol, okay? What's going on with the NRA is a symbol. Even if the NRA is, let's say, a puppet group, right? Let's say it's controlled opposition. Well, maybe they're doing things in order to, kind of soften the whole thing behind protecting our Second Amendment rights, right? Like not really fighting so hard in court to protect our Second Amendment rights against legislation that would violate it. But this is something we must understand. Even if the NRA is controlled opposition, the symbol is still real. The symbol behind the NRA is we have somebody. It's a symbol of someone protecting our Second Amendment rights. Once you take that away, who do you have? Okay? Who do you have? And also, we should not allow people like Cuomo to openly threaten banks for doing business with a special interest group. How is it that he can get away with this? How is it that he can step outside of his purview, step outside of his realm of control, which is the state of New York, and threaten banks? I'm gonna tell you why. Because these banks are based in New York. Okay, many of these banks are based in New York. But here's the essential problem here. Anything dealing with banks is a federal issue. So how is it that the governor of New York is threatening federal fucking repercussions for dealing with the NRA? What are we doing here? What do we got going on here? What do we have going on? We have to look deeper into things. We have to understand our political system. We have to understand how shit works, okay? We have to understand jurisdiction. We have to. It's very important because the governor of New York should not be able to call upon any federal agency to investigate anybody. That's not his realm. Now, if he wants to say he can if he tied, well, but see, yeah, that's some shadow government shit you're talking about, Derek. Technically, Derek, even if he has ties to the Federal Reserve, he cannot issue orders to an agency as a, now if what we're seeing here to step on shit they ain't supposed to be stepping on. That's the big point here. Because many people have ties with the Federal Reserve, okay? Especially in New York. I'm pretty sure, you know, Rudolph Geo. See how you do, you boy? Now, this is a very important development. This is showing us that certain people in the government are going to make bold moves. Heavy buffering, I know. I had to shut down YouTube on my phone and pull it back up. So, we have to recognize these bold moves for what they are. Yeah. We have to recognize these bold moves for what they are. The bold move in New Zealand of them saying they're going to arrest people who has the video of the massacre. It put them in prison for 10 years and 14 years respectively if they're sharing it. We have to look at all these bold moves. We have to connect the dots. And now you got Governor Cuomo going after the NRA. We got Alexandria, who, by the way, was just delisted by the Democratic Party for this whole money funneling scandal she had going on. Her talking about the NRA not doing nothing about the New Zealand. What you want? What again? What would you have the NRA do about a massacre way the fuck in New Zealand? How about you not calling on the authorities for allowing it? How come you're not calling on them to do something? It's their job. Anyway, so we got to look at all these bold moves for what they are. We got to take them for what they are. Okay? They're slowly encroaching on all of our rights. Okay? But they have to do it piece by piece, and they have to do it in a strategic way. Okay? Every time something happens, they demonize the NRA. Every time there's a massacre, every time there's a shooting of more than one person at a time, the NRA gets blamed. Then they try to go after the gun manufacturers. How do you sue a gun manufacturer for someone else using that gun to kill somebody? You see what's happening? They're trying to dismantle anything that has to do with guns. Okay? That New Zealand thing is thought crime stuff. Fines for watching a video. Let me tell you something. I don't know. Do I call false flag on that? I don't know yet. I think I do. But we must understand what a false flag is. A false flag is not the same thing as a hoax. A hoax is when it didn't really happen. The false flag is when it did happen, but it didn't happen in the way that is being presented by the media. And this is why they don't want that video rotating. Because there's some weird stuff going on. You remember that shooting in Virginia? That woman, the news anchor, got killed by that black dude. Remember that? Black dude. Now, if you look at the video, right? If you look at what he was wearing, when you see a picture of him, He's wearing a completely, it was a blue plaid shirt going all the way down to his wrist. But when he's shooting in the video, you see a black cuff of a shirt. You don't see the plaid cuff, you see a black cuff. These are things that they don't want us to pick apart. So they want that shit out of rotation. Not out of the realm of possibility, false flag, problem, reaction, solution. Yeah. We are headed toward an Orwellian existence here. Okay? 9/11. Why do you think certain videos of 9/11 are out of rotation? Because there are discrepancies that could be picked apart by people who exercise their brain beyond, you know what I'm saying, just the surface shit. That people that look deeper, they want people that look deeper to see the discrepancies and say and call people on their bullshit. The 9/11 investigation committee. You know, the findings were that, you know, why was there thermite in the building? You know what thermite does? They found thermite dust in the aftermath of the shooting of the 9/11 thing. Okay, thermite cuts through steel. It's used often in demolition. Experts are talking about that. You know, they found in the buildings of 9/11. See, they suppress the real shit and put out bullshit with a narrative, or they'll put out something. They have to attach a narrative that we have to fall for. And if you're against that narrative, you know what it is. If you see people talking about shit, if you see people speaking on conspiracies, and they're not being screwed with, their channel's not being screwed with, you might want to watch them. I mean, I know Mock's channel gets screwed with all the time. I've never been flagged, but again, I'm not, I don't have that many followers yet. Thermite, a hot knife through butter, exactly. Met him 3 years ago at 9/11 Memorial. So this is what it is, you guys. We have to peep the technique. You know how they say don't sweat the technique? No, we need to sweat the technique. We need to peep the technique. We need to understand the technique. We need to analyze the technique. So, pay more attention to what's going on in politics. It's very important. Pay more attention. Look at the thing. Connect all the dots. Look at the steps being taken. Watch out for controlled opposition, especially in the political arena. They're all essentially controlled opposition. Maybe not the city councils. They might not be. But again, there are many city councils getting caught in corruption. So we have to understand politically what's going on in the world to understand what they're trying to do to us. And with that being said,